on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Checkwitz. This is the Kaged match, and this is a review for WWE Raw for February 10th, 2020. And you start out with this building faction, Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, and the AOP. Seth Rollins, of course, cutting a promo in the ring, gets cut off by Kevin Owens, who brings out the Viking Raiders. Seth Rollins is talking about how he's taken all of Kevin Owens' buddies out. He took out Samoa Joe, he took out Ivar, so there's Ivar. And so the fight ensues. 3-on-3, the AOP and Buddy Murphy go to meet the other three guys, Kevin Owens and Viking Raiders, outside the ring. Samoa Joe sneaks up from behind, puts the coquina clutch on Seth Rollins. Really cool. I like the way they brought him back. He's only got a couple of weeks, but still, it looked really cool, and it fit. So, good start to the show. So, we've had a traditional start of either a good promo package or a good beginning and a bad match, or a bad promo or beginning and a good match. Well, here we finally got a pretty decent opening and a pretty good first match. Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Of course, Kairi Sane is out there. She's doing her thing, of course, trying to get involved at points. But really good match overall. I really enjoyed myself. Becky Lynch has tried really hard, I think, to make the women's division legitimate and just as good as the guys. And she's done a lot of things to put herself in harm's way in a lot of matches. And so she just does cool stuff in matches that I think makes it look good. I was going to say legitimate, but yeah, that works too. So at the end of the day, Becky Lynch does get the win. And then out comes Shayna Baszler to attack Becky Lynch from behind. Hits her a few times, picks her up, throws her back on the mat. And then WWE wanted to do something that stood out, and some people like it, some people don't like it. I don't really know that I have a horse in this race, so to speak. I mean, it's like they wanted to do something, they went with this. It makes her look despicable, if nothing else, so I'm not hating on it, honestly. Shayna Baszler takes her mouthpiece out, bites Becky Lynch on the back of the neck, draws blood. There's blood all over her mouth. There's blood on Becky Lynch's neck, probably fake blood, of course, but it worked, and I liked it. So, yeah, as far as that first match and the aftermath, the match, like I said, it was really good. Like, there were spots where Becky Lynch had Asuka's arm kind of caught on the top rope. Becky Lynch had both legs draped across either side and did like her own arm bar over the top rope. You know, stuff like that to do, just different. The Shayna Baszler attack, like I said, they had to do something to stand out. You can't repeat the same thing over and over again, so this was something different. I have no hate for it. So there you go. After that, you get Mojo Rawley and Riddick Moss, who are already in the ring after commercial. And the Street Profits music hit, and they do a promo talking about Mojo Rawley, hanging off people's coattails, and goes into the match. That didn't really last that long at all. It was a very quick match. Street Profits won. I don't know. But then there was another story on top of that, because after the Street Profits leave, Riddick Moss, who was Mojo Rawley's teammate, rolls up Mojo Rawley and gets the 27 championship belt from him. So I thought that was kind of cool, honestly. You didn't expect it. You sure as hell didn't see it coming. So I liked it. Then, after that, you get Becky Lynch. They're doing a bit where they're all trying to get her to go in an ambulance. And this is where things fell apart a little bit for this. For some reason, Becky Lynch says she's not going to the hospital, but she rips the driver out of the ambulance, takes the ambulance apparently to the hospital. Didn't really make a lot of sense, if I'm being honest. That part could have been left out. Then you get MVP back, Montel Vondavious Porter. He has his VIP lounge, which was his old talk show that he used to do sometimes. And he brings out Drew McIntyre. And the whole point to this was MVP was looking to be Drew McIntyre's advocate, like Paul Heyman was Brock Lesnar's. Drew McIntyre's like, I'm not Brock Lesnar, I can speak for myself. MVP started getting a little bit too pushy. Drew McIntyre hits him with a headbutt first, and then hits him with a Claymore kick. And it just made Drew McIntyre look good. And there were actually, again, some moments here where Drew McIntyre just doing his promo stuff, just flying off the handle, you can tell, or, doing his own thing, improving. You could tell it was him, and it worked. He's got some really good humor that we've never really seen from him before, and I think that makes him more approachable. And I really do like that. So good on them. After that, you have Angel Garza with Selena Vega. Selena Vega starts cutting a promo about Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, and on cue, here comes Humberto. Looks like a legitimate fight between those two for a minute. They have a bunch of staff come out and grab Humberto and take him to the back, and so it becomes Angel Garza, who is supposed to take on Cedric Alexander. Can't talk, I swear. and it was good, man. These two put together, are going to be a good match. At the end of the day, it wasn't very long. Angel Garza wins. No surprises there. Then you get a Rhea Ripley interview talking about Charlotte Flair and what she thinks about Charlotte Flair not answering. She gets interrupted by Sarah Logan, who says, who do you think you are? And Rhea Ripley's like, well, I'm Rhea Ripley. Who are you? So that leads to a match here in a few minutes. And also, you get an interview with Bobby Lashley and Lana just before commercial. Bobby Lashley has a match with Ricochet. They're saying Ricochet stole the match from Bobby. No big deal there. So first you get Sarah Logan versus Rhea Ripley. A very short match, a very dominant match. Rhea Ripley goes over Sarah Logan, of course. Then you have Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley kind of exchanging promos in the ring where Rhea Ripley's like, I've been to Raw, you've been to NXT, you haven't answered anything yet. And Charlotte's like, I'm going to do things on my time. But who says you're even going to be champion? You still have to face Bianca Belair. So maybe there will be some interference there. I'm actually expecting interference there with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Then you get Bobby Lashley, with Lana, of course, taking on Ricochet. And this was the whole uphill battle. Ricochet overcoming the odds against a much bigger, stronger opponent. They did a short interview with Ricochet where he's talking about, being the little guy again. But the match itself, it was better. Than I've seen a lot of Lashley matches lately, which doesn't say much, to be very honest. But Ricochet is highly, highly athletic, and I like that. So very cool moveset from him, displayed on full effect. And at the end of the day, he capitalizes, gets the win on Bobby Lashley. Legitimately, what more can you say? They're building up for the Brock Lesnar fight. You already know Brock Lesnar is going to go over, but at least they're building it up to where maybe Ricochet could win. Then you get Randy Orton. He starts cutting a promo on why he did what he did to Edge. Gets cut off by Matt Hardy, who talks about the very long colored history between him and Adam Copeland. Which everybody knows about, of course, by now if you're deep into wrestling. So he brings up the history of building TLC together and, how much that means to him. And so he demands an answer from Randy Orton. Randy Orton goes for the RKO. There's a small fight where Randy Orton winds up getting the RKO anyway and then does a concerto on Matt Hardy. And I think this was actually Matt Hardy's last spot because I think he quit WWE after this. So then they do a quick Ruby Riott interview where she's talking about Liv Morgan, how Liv Morgan's always going to be a follower, and she's going to get Liv Morgan back in line, basically. Then you have Aleister Black versus Akira Tozawa. Akira Tozawa didn't get much in. This was mainly Aleister Black going over in a fairly quick match again. And then they have Aleister Black cutting a promo where he's talking about wrestlers being locked inside the ring or metaphorical cage with Aleister Black when they get in there. Then you have Becky Lynch returns. She cuts a promo who says that she is looking for Shayna Baszler and it's not about wins or titles or anything like that. She's out to hurt her. Then you get the final match, KO, Kevin Owens, the Viking Raiders, Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, and the AOP. And, it was a good match. I don't know that anything really stood out except for a few moves. And, of course, Kevin Owens is always going to be one of those moves, at least in a match. The guy just puts his body on the line no matter what he does. And I respect the hell out of him for it. Because for our entertainment value, Kevin Owens, to me, is phenomenal. At the end of the day, Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, and AOP capitalize on the referee being distracted. And Buddy Murphy gets the pin on Samoa Joe after Seth Rollins curb stomps him. And that's where they cut to credits. So it was a good Raw. It wasn't great, but it was an entertaining show. And it's definitely better than SmackDown. That is for damn sure. I really like what they're doing with Drew McIntyre. It'll be interesting to see where they're going with the Rollins, Murphy, AOP faction against the other faction. They did have a lot of quick, dominant matches here. Street Profits, Aleister Black. There was another one there that was Angel Garza was another one. So they did have those, but at least they were doing something with them. Aleister Black had the little promo. Riddick Moss had the 24/7 championship pin afterwards. They did the thing with Humberto Carrillo in the Angel Garza match. So even though there were some squash matches, like even Rhea Ripley, who went over Sarah Logan, her and Charlotte Flair traded some barbs. So they really did stuff to build up NXT's next pay-per-view. They're obviously leaning towards WrestleMania now with some stuff. And it's all looking very, very good. And I really, really do like what they're doing with it. Even the short, nonsensical matches have a point to them. So I like that. So overall, I mean, it was pretty entertaining. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I felt like it was pretty strong this time. Wasn't great, but it was very good. So ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm at. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation, out.